Yeah, and we need to hear what, yeah, wait. Bishop,
Do we get a copy of it too?
yeah.
Didn't know you was one of the scholars.
Oh yeah. Didn't know you were. What's your name?
Juana.
Rob.
Oh, you wrong. That's fine.
I guess so.
I don't know if it's wrong.
Were you in the building over there?
No, I'm the one that was standing by the car.
Oh.
And I was talking on the phone.
Can you get through there?
I actually want this picture of somebody was taking a picture on my phone.
Yeah. Good morning. We still have some seats here for our guests, if you can move up and take a seat. We have plenty of seats. There's seats over here on the side also. No one else wants to sit. We'll begin. First of all, good morning. So glad to see you here on this wonderful, majestic day on our beautiful campus. But if I could ask you now to stand for the posting of colors. Thank you. You may be seated. That was the Morgan State University ROTC Bear Battalion. Now I would ask Reverend Keels to come forward for the invocation.
Will you pray with me? Almighty and everlasting Creator, ever exalted yet always near, be present with us gathered together here for the groundbreaking of the Calvin and Tina Tyler Hall. About this ground upon which we stand, your servants, Calvin and Tina, for the generosity of their spirit and the evidence of their stewardship for our beloved Morgan State University. Let your spirit descend upon this place. May this be a ground of purpose, progress, and promise. May the first spade that turns a saw be transformed into a state-of-the-art hall for student success and service. Within these walls, O God, let your glory pave the pathway to growing the future and leading the world. May the footprints of all who pass through these hallowed halls be constant reminders of 150 years of yesterdays and the blessed assurance of innumerable tomorrows. For we pray in the name of God. Amen.
Again, I'd like to welcome you here. We've had a number of these celebratory, great, exciting events on this campus over the years for all of our new buildings, the grand openings, the groundbreakings, but I would like to say that this one for me is particularly special because of two very, very special people who have very generously given to support our students from Baltimore City and Baltimore City schools. And they just continuously give back and try to help and pull those up behind them. They too are natives of Baltimore. I've known them most of my life, and so this makes this very, very special. I'm not going to officially introduce them because I'd be stealing the president's thunder, but since I had the mic, I did want to say that. So I do want to, if they're still here, I did want to acknowledge our band and our cheerleaders who welcomed you as you came in. Cheerleaders are still here. I don't see the band, but they always help make these events so exciting. Because we always love to see them, you know, no matter what. No matter what happens in a game, we like to see the cheerleaders and the band. So I now would like to just continue with the program and bring up the chairman of the board, Kwesi Mfume, to welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. And to all of you seated here, a special good morning to you. And to all of you standing, thanks for that standing ovation. It's very, very much well received today. It's a great day, isn't it? Could not have asked for a better day. And so there are so many of you here that have done so much for this university. I guess I could do a number of things, but I think my role today is going to be to thank people. We've got some other folks who are going to come and bring some great remarks and help in this festive occasion. But I just want to start with saying thanks to everybody. Thanks to God for watching over this institution for 150 years. Thanks to all of you who have sacrificed over that period of time, those who are former students, former teachers, to the rest of the members of the board, as well as a great partnership. Don't stand here, if you will, any single individual has accomplished. It is a team effort, it's a shared vision, and we're honored to have a great support of you and the members of the Morgan State University Board of Regents as we continue the evolution of this great institution. Likewise to Senator Joan Carter Conway, I've said this to you on many occasions. I've worked in 4 states, and I have never seen a state senator as more effective in this advocacy for a cause than you, and certainly for Morgan State University. And so we thank you as well. Likewise to Senator McFadden, to Delegate Maggie McIntosh, who's supposed to be here. She's not arrived yet. And other elected officials joining us today, Councilman Ryan Dorsey. I want to recognize you. But I really want you to put your hands together and welcome our very, very special guests who have come all the way from Northern California to be with us, Calvin and Tina Tyler. Please let's welcome them, if you will. You will be hearing from Calvin officially later on in the program. Today we are gathered at the site of where previously stood the former Soper Library to celebrate the continued growth here at Morgan and also to honor some very important contributors who have made some of that growth possible. You know, growth is essential to the vibrancy and to the relevancy of a modern university, and Oregon must never cease to grow. We must renew and upgrade our facilities. We must continue to embrace the best academic practices in the classroom, not practices of yesteryear, but practices of tomorrow in our classrooms. advanced administrative, managerial, and service excellence practices throughout our campus community. We are simply determined here at Morgan to be one of the most innovative and one of the most relevant universities in this country in the coming 150 years, as we have been during our first 150 years of existence. That's why we can't stand still, and that's why we won't stand still here at Morgan. Yes, this year the university celebrates our sesquicentennial anniversary and the 150 years of achievements that Morgan has experienced. You know, since that started 150 years ago, right here in Baltimore on the west side, Morgan has blossomed and has evolved to be an anchor institution today that Lieutenant Governor Rutherford, the governor, signed legislation just 3 or 4 months ago recognizing it as the preeminent public urban research university within the state of Maryland. This university has a rich history, and it is no wonder that it was named a national treasure last year. This morning, we are going to hear from a number of key people who have played a very significant role in getting us to where we are today. However, before we do, I would like to acknowledge the efforts of a very special Morgan alum, once again, and his wife. For years, their names have stood above the doors of the large ballroom over here in the University Student Center. And ladies and gentlemen, it will continue to do so. But it was important, it was very important for this university to acknowledge their long-standing support and their generosity in a manner much more deserving of their great embrace of Morgan's mission. We are extremely grateful for what Calvin and Tina Tyler have done for Morgan. Their $5 million gift to the university provides funds to offer free tuition on a need-based basis for students from their beloved home of Baltimore City who desire to attend Morgan. Their gift is the largest individual gift in Morgan State University's history, and it is the 5th largest individual gift given to any HBCU in America. That deserves a round of applause. Thank you, Calvin. Thank you, Tina. And so, several students here at Morgan, past, present, and as Chairman Mfume indicated, yet to come, will be Tyler Scholars. And we have several of them with us this morning. And so I'm going to ask the Tyler Scholars from Baltimore City, I think about 9 or 10 of them are here, to raise their hands, stand, and let people know who you are, future engineers and teachers and scientists. I think a couple of you are majoring in electrical engineering. Raise your hand. Why don't you just briefly state your name and your major as loud as you can.
My name is George Boswell. I'm an Hello, Travis Jones, electrical engineering, freshman. Robert Wilson, transportation systems engineering, senior.
Good morning, I'm Kelly Edmonds. I am from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm a graduating senior, and I'm an accounting major. Good morning, I'm Ashley Williams. I'm a biology major, and I'm also a graduating senior.
My name is Arjun Hampton. I'm the electrical engineering major, senior year, first state scholarship.
My name is Jaquana Duncan. I am a junior, and my major is computer science, and I want to thank you for the scholarship. I very much appreciate it.
Good morning. I'm Destiny Blake. I'm a junior and I'm an elementary education major.
Good morning, my name is Deja Herndon Johnson. I'm a sophomore elementary education major, and on behalf of all of us, we would like to thank you so much. Without you, we could not do it.
Yes, yes. That's what I. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Jalen Folsom. I'm a junior and my major is family and consumer science.
This building dedication is a symbol of our eternal gratitude to the Tylers, and it will serve as a permanent reminder to all who pass through Morgan Commons in the years to come of the commitment of this extraordinary couple to the long-term success of Morgan students. Yes, this is a great day for Morgan as we break ground on what will be a phenomenal new facility. This new $88 million, 139,000 square foot state-of-the-art Calvin and Tina Tyler Hall will house some of the university's most vital student services and support areas, nearly 20 departments in all. When completed, Tyler Hall will be a facility second to none in its function, and it will stand here on this prime location as the face of Morgan State University and a front door to our beautiful campus. And so I want to conclude my remarks by giving you the much anticipated completion date for this facility. This is not going to take us 4 or 5 years to build. Kim McCallum, we thank you and your incredible staff. Sydney Evans, I think this will be the first building that will have been completed from beginning to end under your leadership here at Morgan. We thank you for that as well. But we expect to be standing here in 2020, around the same time, opening this new building. And so we thank you once again for your generosity. We thank you for the kind of impact that you are having in the lives of so many students who walk those streets in West Baltimore the same as you, but who see light at the end of the tunnel. And so, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I do want to take an opportunity to officially introduce the next speaker. But I want to do this where Chairman Mfume left off. I've had an opportunity over the last several years to work very, very closely with Lieutenant Governor Rutherford. And I think the first time we met, he informed me, of course, that he was a graduate of some institution to the south. And I said, well, excuse me, I'm not sure I heard that, right? So he repeated it again, and so I said, okay, well, I went on to the next subject. I think the season before last, I extended an invitation to the Lieutenant Governor to attend a basketball game here when we were playing the institution to the south, Howard University. And so he accepted the invitation, and so we were very excited to welcome him. And so, as many of you have seen, when I come to some of the sporting events, I might wear like a little blue blazer and an orange shirt or something like that. So I put that on and put on my Morgan pen, and I prepared to meet the Lieutenant Governor, and I came outside, and there he is standing in the biggest Howard hoodie that you can imagine. And here I am, you know, can't even recognize the fact that I'm Morgan. And so that was just really a fun moment, and he may be Howard made, but in Morgan, in Maryland, he's all Morgan. And so it's been an honor to work with you for the last 2+ years. He has been a great supporter of the university, and please join me in welcoming to the podium our Lieutenant Governor, Boyd Rutherford.
Thank you, President Wilson. It just was a couple of evenings ago that we were in the Tyler Hall or Tyler Ballroom to announce a program, our Project Core, but also some additional funding for Morgan that's going to assist in the redevelopment of the Northwood Shopping Center and creating Northwood Commons. So that was, yeah, so we were part of that as well. Dr. Wilson and Chairman Mfume, I think I've spent more time at Morgan in the last couple of years than I did at any other time. Now, I came up here a couple of times when I was a student. I came to homecoming a couple of times, and Howard wasn't even playing, but I came. And I don't even think I made it to the game, but I was here. I won't tell you what I was doing, but I was here. And a couple of homecomings years and years ago, I don't like to count that because then it does remind you of how old you are. But it is extremely fitting that this is this celebration is taking place at the same time that you're celebrating 150 years of academic excellence. And in addition to Morgan being classified as a Tier 1 public urban research university with a specific mission of Maryland's urban community, that is something that we're all proud of. Despite the fact that I am a Howard man, I'm glad to see Morgan receive all the attention and recognition that the institution deserves, because the success and stature of Morgan elevates all HBCUs. And year after year, the students who pass through this college go on to make remarkable contributions to society. And today, we're seeing Morgan take the next step forward with the groundbreaking on the Calvin and Tina Tyler Hall. This new student services building is named for two Baltimore City natives who have dedicated much of their lives to helping people achieve success. For Governor Hogan and our entire administration, education has been and will continue to be a top priority. We believe that every child in Maryland deserves access to a great education, regardless of what neighborhood they come from. Tylers share that mission and have put it into action. The state is proud to have already committed more than $14.5 million to support this important project that we're breaking ground on today. And we look forward to providing the remaining funds over the next few years. And we are committed to the success of the students here at Morgan and to ensure that all of our schools and universities have a path or pave a clear pathway to careers and produce students who have both the skills and the opportunities they need to be today and the future. This is an exciting state-of-the-art facility that its dedication to Baltimore's home Calvin, Tina Tyler, will also serve to inspire students to reach even greater heights. So again, congratulations to the entire Morgan State University family and everyone involved in this project. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Governor. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the next speaker, who is one of our own. So cheerleader, we had made sure they were out there to cheer you on when you came in this morning. But let's welcome our illustrious mayor, Catherine Pugh.
First, let me say to Tina and Mr. Tyler, let me just say that this is one of the few times I get to see my first cousin, who is very close to their family. So thank you all for being here. And I am so honored as a Morgan State University student to receive this gift for Morgan State University students, because I too remember coming to Morgan State, and the only thing I wanted to do was to work that prior summer to earn my first semester's tuition. I said, if I can just get there, I'll be all right. And I was. And I want to thank God and my parents, because everything that I've done to this point, through the help of Morgan State University, has prepared me to lead our city. I tell you, Morgan challenged us in every possible way that it could. It taught us to be leaders, it taught us to be competent, it taught us to be courageous, and for that I am forever grateful. I am also very grateful to this university because we continue to raise up great students and to put them out into the communities as leaders. And I see our delegate who leads our delegation. Thank you for being here as well. I know I heard you whisper that Maggie sent you here, but you're always here, a Morgan State graduate as well. Kurt Anderson, thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause. He's also echoed in the halls of the State House how important this university is. And I remember Dr. Wilson when they were talking about making universities research institutions. And I'm sitting there in the finance committee, and they named off the various universities, and I raised my hand. I said, well, what about Morgan? They said, well, no, Morgan's not a research institution. I said, oh, yes, we are. And so we have that designation as a research institution. And I'm always grateful to the leadership of Joan Carter Conway and Nathaniel McFadden who stand tall in the halls of Annapolis on behalf of our university. And again, Ryan Dorsey, thank you for being our representative for Morgan State University. Kwaisi, I was watching you while you were standing here, and I was remembering your days as the program director for Morgan State University's radio station. And you all have to know, because I was one of those students who he tutored, who taught us everything about radio. And I'll never forget you standing there behind the window saying, "Color, Clueless." It was me and T. Montier. We were the news anchors for Morgan State University's radio station. Now here was a professional teaching young people using terminology that they use in the professional world. He said, "Color." I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. Then he says, "Talk to each other." I said, okay, I get it. So I want you to know that not only did we learn from you, and you know I became vice president of Brunson Communications, owning two television stations and 9 radio stations. That's because of Morgan State University. So Mr. Tyler, I want you and Tina to know what you have instilled in these young people, giving them the opportunity to attend this university, a university that is not only impressionable, but creates leaders throughout this nation. So thank you on behalf of all of the students who will walk through these doors, and more importantly, for all of the students who will never know who you are, but more importantly, will recognize that your name is on this building, and they will take the time to learn of all of the things that you did for so many students. And Dr. Wilson, continue to be the great president that you are, and we do remember that we all stand on the shoulders of those who came before us. So God bless you and your family, and again, thank you for traveling across this country on behalf of all of the students who will benefit on your behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pugh. And I have to add something. I asked the staff to come up with a statistic. I asked how many students have been helped by the Tylers, because they not only give the full tuition scholarships, but they give other scholarships of $1,000 a piece to students during the year. And since inception, since they started supporting Morgan, they have helped over 200 students. Thank you very, very much. And what they don't know is their very first graduate is somewhere. So Byron Selby is around here somewhere. He was the first Tyler Scholar to actually graduate. So thank you for coming. And now I'd like to bring up Senator Joan Carter Conway, who is truly a friend of this university. Senator Conway.
Good morning. Let me just first start off by saying thank you to the Calvin and Tina Scholar Hall. We are just elated. But let me just say thank you, because you have made so many educational and economic benefits to this institution. And I won't be long, because you know that I am this meek, mild, and humble individual. And interesting enough, but you know, it took so long. It took us so long to come to this point. It's about 20 years. I can remember when we moved everybody to the Montebello building, the Student Services building, and in 3 to 5 years, we were supposed to have this building standing there. And see, this is why I'm this meek, mild, and humble individual. Only because I just don't understand it. So, you know, and McFadden knows. And see, he makes me the bad cop. Because he'll sit there and he'll collaborate and compromise. And normally that's the process. And I do thank Dr. Wilson. And you have to always go back to Dr. Richardson, because he was here when it all began. And I continue to say it takes 3 to 5 years for any white institutions to build their establishment. It takes us 7, 14, 20 for historically black institutions. And it should not be. It just should not be. So, you know, I'm all for collaboration. I am all for compromise. And I think what I said to Dr. Wilson when he first arrived, I said, Dr. Wilson, you know, it should be collaboration should get us there. It should be compromise to get us there. That does not work in the halls of Annapolis. So the good cop who's sitting over there, my colleague in the legislature, Senator McFadden, he sits on budget and tax. And there's a collaboration and a policy-making body, which is Share Education, Health and Environmental Affairs. So although they do money, they can't do money without me, because with the money goes policy. And that's where we are. And I am proud to be here today. And my colleague, former colleague, our current mayor, Senator Pugh, our new representative, Councilman Dorsey, and I hope to work collaboratively. But let me just say one other thing and then I'm done. And foremost, let me say to our Lieutenant Governor, who did not understand me, but he knew about this person that was called Joan Carter Conway. So what had happened in terms of the development of Morgan State and our issues that we had with the development of Northwood Library, I would have to pay accolades definitely to the Lieutenant Governor, who brought it all together and understood what we were saying about the condition of the shopping center and what needed to be done as it related to Morgan State University. And additionally, my colleagues, delegate Kurt Anderson is here, and he does share the Baltimore City delegation, and we thank him, and I think you're going to speak on behalf of the other delegate, which is Delegate Maggie McIntosh, who also, you know, we always talk about Montgomery County in the legislature, but it's not, and Maggie says all the time, you have 2 chairs from Baltimore City, and we're not talking about Montgomery County. So we're called the Fighting 43rd, and we fight hard. But I want to thank everybody, and I thank you for your support. And I love Morgan dearly, although I was not a Morgan alum, but I will be soon. Thank you, and God bless.
Next, we'll bring up the senator who is a Morgan alum and who has been called the good cop, Senator Nathaniel McFadden, who bleeds blue and orange.
Don't take no back. God is wonderful. Isn't it good? What a wonderful day. Calvin and Tina Tyler, thank you. Larry Boyd, thank you. Captain Pugh, Mayor Captain Pugh, thank you. Dr. David Wilson. Why you see him food bag? Oh my goodness. What's that, man? You know what it is. Oh, okay. Senator Joan Carter Conway, the bad cop. Delegate Kurt Anderson and Council. How are you? Great to be here. Good to see you guys. You know, this is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. We continue to do this. Isn't this fun? Dr. Earl S. Richardson, you really started something. You know, you started something. You got the ball rolling, and we continue to develop outstanding young people. When those young people stood up, Tina Tyler was crying. I wanted to cry with her because they are our future, and they are being developed, nurtured, and we, I think, Calvin and Tina are going to have some future Calvin and Tina Tyler. There's hopefully some credit to them that they give. More than this is a wonderful today. Let's think back to we call this the new library. You would have seen it. The library over here next to Old Hall, so upstairs. Come on, in the stacks. Somebody check out there. Come on, quiet. I know you're talking, man. That tells me how old you are. Way back there. So when I was a student, we paid for the radio station, right? We never got a chance to use it. We paid for this bridge, never got a chance to use it. But isn't this wonderful? Calvin, I followed Calvin here behind Jimmy Gilliam at a little place at 33rd and Alameda called the Baltimore City College. And we were students down there in high school. Any city people here? City family? City family. Kurt Anderson, look on his right hand. Calvin, short to him. Yes, sir. City family. Jimmy Gilliam, the Jimmy Gilliam in the Murphy Fine Arts Center, right? Calvin and Tina Tyler right here. Am I right? And I know you flew in on that UPS plane. They fly you in here. When I say God is good, coming out of the project, Jimmy Gilliam come one way, Calvin Tyler come the next way, and then end up at Morgan. And then it was Morgan College. And we didn't have buses coming down Cold Spring Lane. We walked. And the white people watched every step we made, too. Walk on their grave. But isn't God good? God, we turn around now and build a new building in their honor. Lieutenant Governor Rutherford, thank you for the help with Northwood, a place where, again, I said several weeks ago they didn't want us to go, and now we're going to own it, okay? We're going to own it. And we're going to go all the way up. Sam Morgan, I love you because you first loved me. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. So it's my understanding now that Delegate McIntosh will not be here, but we do have Delegate Kurt Anderson. Would you come another Morgan along?
God is good. Yeah, wow. This is, I mean, you know, I grew up in this neighborhood, and I went to the city, as McFadden said, and I graduated from Morgan. And it's funny because I took my grandson around the campus the other day, and I was pointing out to him all the different buildings, and it so happens that I actually know the people whose names are on the buildings. You know? And he'd say, well, Daddy, I mean, Grandpa, what's that? That's the Earl Richardson Library. Did you know him? Yes, I did. What's that? That's Carter Grant. What's the deal? Yes, I did. And as he walked around, they saw the sign for this. He said, well, do you know Mr. Tyler? I said, yes, I do. So we got down to the Frederick Douglass statue. No, son, I don't know. But all the folks who should have been thanked have been thanked. And so I'm not going to do that. I want to address my brief remarks on behalf of Delegate Maggie McIntosh, who is the chairman of the House Appropriations Committee. And she was, and continues to be an integral part of the development of Morgan State University. As Senator Carter said, we've got two chairmen working extremely hard on behalf of Morgan State University. It just so happens that they both are from the 43rd District. And trust me, I've seen them. Actually, you don't want to see Joan at work. Bad cop is being nice. Okay? And Maggie McIntosh is an extremely well-versed person in education. She came from being a teacher in the Baltimore City school system, and she is an extreme advocate for not just the HBCUs, but also for public education here in Baltimore City. She serves on Dr. Wilson, on the current commissions, and that's a very important place for her to be for the future of our kids. But to the students who are here today and perhaps will be heard later on, listen to what everybody's said so far. Listen to all the sacrifice and all the commitment that's been made for you guys. Because we were all there at one time. I was a student here just like you guys who stood up. And what we're doing is trying to create that bridge, make that bridge strong for the next generation. And it's up to you to do the same thing. Because, you know, we live in a city that is challenged. But you can come up with some of the answers to those challenges. And I do have to say, give shout out to our Lieutenant Governor. Sir, I am so pleased that you were selected to be Lieutenant Governor. You have worked very hard within our community. You are a very great man, and Morgan State University appreciates you. Last thing I just want to give a shout out to our mayor. So it was alleged earlier that you were a cheerleader. I remember one game where they weren't cheering when you got on the court. We won't talk about that now, but she has turned out to be not just a cheerleader for Baltimore City, but an extremely deft person at getting people together to talk, like Governor Morgan, talking about what the needs for the city are. And Madam Mayor, I know it was Morgan that prepared you for it, but you really taken it a step farther. Calvin, Tina Tyler, thank you so much. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Della Anderson. If you took time to read what's in the program, you'll see that there are a lot of functions that will be in this building. But one of the greatest beneficiaries of this building is our enrollment management program. So we have asked Dr. Kara Turner, who is the Vice President for Enrollment Management, to come up and tell you what this building means to her.
Lieutenant Governor Rutherford, Mayor Pugh, Senator Conway, Senator McFadden, Mr. and Mrs. Tyler, Chairman Nfume, other members of the Morgan Board of Regents, Mr. President, Madam Provost, faculty, staff, students, alumni, and honored guests. It is my great pleasure to bring remarks today. This is truly an exciting day as we break ground on our new Student Services building, Calvin and Tina Tyler Hall. On behalf of all the dedicated staff in the Bursar's office, Registrar's office, financial aid, admissions, transfer, career development, and other offices who currently call the aging Montebello complex home, today is an exciting day. To all of the students who have to make the trek all the way across campus to Montebello to handle their financial aid, billing, and registration-related matters, and are intimately familiar with the building's, shall we say, challenges, today is an exciting day. Years from now, our incredibly hardworking and dedicated staff will be able to provide an exceptional service experience to our students in a state-of-the-art, technologically advanced facility situated in a centrally located, gorgeous, light-filled, welcoming building. Yes, today is a great day. Thank you to all of the legislators, university administrators, architects, and design professionals, and others who have made this new building possible. Thank you to the Tylers for your continued support to Morgan and being an inspiration for others to follow. And finally, thanks to all of those involved in organizing this event today, making it possible for us to finally break ground. Our staff and students deserve this fantastic new building that is coming, and on their behalf, I thank everyone for coming out today to witness this groundbreaking and momentous occasion. Thank you.
Our band left, so we don't have a drum roll, but but now is the time we actually hear from the Tylers in person of Calvin Tyler. So Calvin, please come up and let's give him a hand, please.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. Thank everyone. Thank you for your kind words and remarks about Tina and I. Senator McFadden implied that I flew in on a plane, a UPS plane. I have to remind him that I've been retired from UPS for 18 years now. And the only way they will allow me on a plane is if I can fit inside a box. I did not fly. I came out on Southwest. This is a great honor for Tina and I should start by saying, you know, a number of people have said that somehow over the years I've remained grounded and humble, and I want to start by thanking the person who has kept me grounded and humble, my wife, of 55 years, Tina Dawson. Tina and I have had a long relationship with Morgan, over 17 years, recently. And I owe a thanks to 3 people for that relationship, and I'll be very brief, but I want to thank Cheryl Hitchcock. Cheryl, I and Tina go back to grade school. So it was long before Morgan, and I appreciate you, Cheryl, keeping that relationship going. I want to thank Dr. Earl Richardson. Over 15 years ago, I think it was, Dr. Richardson flew down to Atlanta. Tina and I were living in Atlanta then. Took us out to dinner, picked up the check.
What?
But at dinner, he convinced Tina and I that if we wanted to invest in young people, that if we wanted to help young people get an education, there was no better place in this country to do that than at Morgan State University. And I appreciate Dr. Richardson getting us started, and we haven't regretted it for 1 minute. So thank you, Dr. Richardson. And when Dr. Richardson retired, because of our relationship, I thought it was going to be a tough act to follow. And shortly after that, I had a chance to come up here to Baltimore and meet Dr. Wilson. And I have been extremely, and Tina and I have been extremely impressed with his passion for young people. Dr. Wilson, like Tina and I, comes from a humble background, and he can relate to the struggles of young people, particularly young people in Baltimore City from low-income families. And he is doing everything within his power to make sure that every one of them has a chance at a higher education. Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Tina and I live on the West Coast now, and so we're asked all the time, why Morgan and why Baltimore? And I tell them simply, Baltimore is our hometown. It's where we're from. It's who we are. And we believe, never forget where we came from. We want to invest in Tyler scholars because we feel that education is the key for young people reaching their full potential in life. We believe also that no one person can do everything that needs to be done in Baltimore or in this country. Every person can do something. And supporting the Tyler Scholars is our something. When we read the letters of appreciation from the scholarship recipients, and when we come here in May and watch our scholars walk across that stage with their degrees, there is no better feeling in the world. We then understand that there's no greater satisfaction in life than reaching back and helping others. We also believe that young people who receive an education here in Morgan State are the future leaders of this city, of this state, and of this country. They'll be future teachers, professors, engineers, business leaders like myself, mayors like our Mayor of Baltimore, lawyers, generals. And yes, amongst the graduates here at Morgan State, there could one day be a future president of the United States of America.
Yeah.
I believe that. And we certainly can do better than the person who now holds that office. You see, we need right now a president who understands that true leaders lift people up, not tear them down. We need a president who understands that love always conquers hate. We need a president that knows how to unite people, not divide them. And we need a president who understands that our diversity makes us stronger as a nation. But I'm not a politician. So enough about politics. Let me close with a simple message for our young Tyler scholars. Don't let anyone put a ceiling on your dreams and aspirations. Work hard. Do your best. Aim high. And when you reach the top, remember to turn around, reach back, and help someone else. Thank you. God bless you. And happy birthday, Morgan State.
So inspirational. So this brings us to the end of this part of our program. Now we have a mound of dirt over here for the actual ceremonial groundbreaking. And after that, we have a reception for you on the second floor of the Earl West Richardson Library. So please stay around for that. But now it's the honorees, all of our officials. Come over here. You got 10 shovels. So I think. But thank you all for coming to this, and hopefully we'll have you back in the near future.
Thank you, Shirley.
Thank you.
How are you doing? Good to see you. I'm here. I got it. You know I'm always around. I'm not going too far. Now, man, now you got black hair. I know. That's it. All right. I'm still looking for that George. That's terrible, George. I'm going to say that about George. Here comes George.
Somebody had to say something.